public hearing. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we have our regular meeting, we do have a public hearing on the 2018 tax levy, and I'm going to turn this over to Mary Kuhl. Oh, please call the vote.
Austriaco? Here. Bessler? Here. Collins? Here. Coyle? Here. Lee? Here. Sullivan? Owen?
Here.
Okay. The purpose of the public hearing on the Maine Township High School District 207 2018 tax levy is to provide the community with a chance to be heard and provide any questions or make any statements that they have in terms of the tax levy. The tax levy we are requesting is a 3.16% higher than the 2017 tax levy. This is based on a consumer price index of 2.1%. The difference between the 2.1 and the 3.6 is simply new growth. If new growth does not materialize, it will be at 2.1%. You can only tax new property the year it comes on the tax rolls. That's why it's important to ask for more money than you would anticipate. Existing property for Maine Township should only see about a 2.1% increase in their property taxes. The district is not required to hold a public hearing because we're not asking for an increase greater than 5%, but in an effort to be transparent, we have followed what we call the elements of the truth in taxation by publishing our levy in the newspaper, providing a public hearing, adopting the levy in November, and those are the types of activities we do to provide the community an input. At this time, we welcome any members of the community or the public to come forward and ask any questions on the tax levy or to make any statements on the tax levy.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak on the levy? Okay. Hearing none then, we will adjourn the public hearing. That will be voted on later. Now I will call to order the regular board meeting. And again, Ginny, if you would take the roll.
Austriaco? Here. Bessler? Here. Collins? Here. Coyle? Here. Owen?
Here.
Lee?
Here.
Sullivan?
That's all right. Okay. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with 207's Best. This month it is for fine and performing arts. And we are going to start with Maine East.
All right. Hello, everybody, and shout out to the assembled fine arts friends and dignitaries. It's quite a room tonight. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you Josh Portillo. So Josh has been a really active presence in the fine arts department for the past 4 years. Has been a 4-year band student and a 4-year art student, and in this senior year has sort of exponentially increased his fine arts involvement. I'm going to talk a little bit about the band and art activities, but he's very active in terms of co-curricular involvement. He's been a member of the National Art Honor Society, Tri-M, is the historian, thespian troupe 1792, and has volunteered in a lot of classes specifically in the area of visual arts. So we'll talk a little bit about that. He's performed in V-Show productions, been a member of the Pit Orchestra for past musical productions, and this year will be making his stage debut in Newsies in the role of Bunsen, who is Joseph Pulitzer's bookkeeper. He's also in the Maine East Jazz Band, and this year has earned a spot in East's a cappella vocal jazz ensemble. So not unusual that I will get a lot of names recommending students, but once we select a student and I send things out to the teachers, sometimes it takes a little while to get back. I have never experienced sort of the tsunami of heartfelt response to Josh when I put the call out for fine arts. So I'm going to read just 3 or 4 of these that I think paint a pretty complete picture of sort of his history and development in the last 4 years. So Pam Holt, our director of band, shared the following. So Josh Portillo is a fourth-year member of the Maine East Band, and is having not only his best year thus far, but perhaps the best senior year of all the seniors. Josh primarily plays the French horn and wind ensemble, but is also a solid trombonist in jazz band, while also picking up other instruments as needed, including tuba, trumpet, and vocals, not to mention being perhaps the most accomplished kazoo player that Maine East has ever seen. Fun and silliness aside, Josh has really come into his own this year when he applied for the position of horn section leader for the marching band. Many students want leadership titles for their resumes and college applications, but Josh used his leadership position to get back to his section in his band. Josh has soared this fall, improving more in the past 3 months than many students do in as many years. He's worked hard throughout high school in many ways, ensuring that he was ready to excel with the responsibility of student leadership. He is one of the wonderful students that literally walks the talk and talks the talk and walks the walk. He's reliable as a leader and hardworking as a musician. The results speak for themselves. It's been my honor to teach Josh Portillo for these last 3.5 years, and she offers a huge congratulations on a well-earned honor. As I mentioned before, Josh is this year a member of a cappella. So our new director choirs, Kate Lee, offered the following. She said, when you first think of Josh Portillo, you may think band kid or art kid. During his senior year, he has added the really good bass beatboxer in a cappella and the theater kid who came out of nowhere to his list of reputations. I had the pleasure of first meeting Josh Portillo this year at a cappella auditions. While he was an inexperienced singer, he took a risk and tried something new. From his audition, I could immediately tell that he was a smart and passionate musician. He is now not only a leader in the bass section of a cappella, but he's also our vocal percussionist. He took the initiative to teach himself. Also had the pleasure of working with him in V-Show and the musical. He brings unmistakable talent, creativity, and commitment to everything he does. What is most amazing about Josh is that he's willing to take risks and expand his horizons with fearlessness, character, and humility. So that's sort of Josh's experience and his commitment and performance as a musician. I think the thing that really, where he's distinguished himself is in the area of visual art. He's been a 4-year art student. This year he's an AP art drawing. And his AP art teacher, Megalyn Eisenberg, sort of offered the following comments. So Josh Portillo has amazed me in the context of the art class for the past 2 years. He's currently working on a truly amazing and unique portfolio. When you meet Josh, you see a warm, caring, articulate, and engaged person. But first and foremost, you see an artist. He's literally created a world that existed in his mind and is now seen by us on paper, drawn with meticulous detail and precision. Few artists can develop an entire world in their imagination and actualize it the way Josh does. His whimsical art and his spirit provide his peers with inspiration and awe. I've spent a lot of time talking to Josh about his process and his creative focus. It's clear to me that Josh wants to develop a narrative, and he already has. His dedication to character development is relentless. His love of detail and his patience allows for his character development to be realized in a genuine and technically advanced manner. Josh channels his endless energy into art making and into his extracurriculars. He's a very active member of National Art Honor Society, band, and beyond. He has no issues starting up a new project or auditioning for V-Show with a song. His ability to balance his performing art and his visual art seems nearly effortless. In fact, I think the two worlds affect one another in a positive and compelling way. Josh is fine arts. Every single one of the fine arts teachers looks at him with admiration and joy as a result of his passion, his technique, and for just being the person that he is. He makes the department proud. And I noticed you've got your notebook with you tonight, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's kind of a sketchbook. This may be a smaller version, I don't know, but kind of hold that up so people can see it, will you?
It's just like a sketchbook for like other sketches of like.
So wherever you find Josh's sketchbook, you will find Josh. He has it with him wherever he goes, and that's sort of a little glimpse into his imagination as has been explained to me by teachers. Just sharing anecdotally, one of our special ed teachers mentioned last year he volunteered in one of the special ed art classes, and truly, I mean, the interest that he showed in the students, I mean, they genuinely look forward to him being in class absolutely every day they worked. And today, still this year, a year later, they ask about him and want to know how he's doing. But the final anecdote I want to read is actually from one of our math teachers, Glenn Olson. because I think it just perfectly sums up Josh's artistic ethic and his best human qualities. Glenn wrote, "Last year I asked the National Honor Society if they would paint my desk in my classroom to help make my room more vibrant. Josh took charge of this project and did most of the work all on his own. He spent countless hours on his own after school and repainted the desk at least 5 times. He's a perfectionist when it comes to art. It was a pleasure working and interacting with him after school, where I learned that he's very talented and creative at art, and has mastered the mathematics of art with respect to scaling and proportions. Josh is an incredibly kind human being and gifted artist who perseveres in all aspects of his life." We normally don't grandstand, but I just kind of wanted to show you. So this is actually a picture of a desk on its final and 5th rendition, and Josh striking a pose up above. But I think that kind of gives you a little glimpse of the work and sort of the whimsy of Josh Portillo. But it just seems to me, from what everybody's shared with me, Josh is really what we want the best of the arts to be, in terms of kids really questioning and being reflective and looking within. As I've said for many years, when you're in the fine arts, it's a lifestyle. And I think Josh lives it, breathes it, walks it. I'm very proud of him, everything he's done for us at Maine East, and wish him all the best in the future. Congratulations. Tell us who's here with you tonight, please.
This is my father, Jose Portillo. We call him Papa. My mother, Luella Portillo. We call her Mama. Yeah. I'm very proud to have parents like them, very loving, kind. Even though sometimes we get in conflict, that's his families. They're very supportive, and I'm very thankful to have them. Even though I may not say it as much as I need to, but I'm very thankful to have them here. Very supportive parents.
What are your plans next year, John?
My plans next year is to not necessarily take an art college, but preparate for an art college. So take a community college, then preparate for that, then go to some sort of fine arts. And I need to dedicate more time into college plans and opportunities that I'm given as of this
Very
moment.
good. Come on up. We have a little gift for you, and Mr. Lee's got a certificate.
Okay. Next up, we have Maine South.
Good evening. Dr. Collins is not here this evening. He's actually at a conference, so we wanted to make sure I emphasize a few things tonight. Maine South is pleased to recognize Emma Lemke as one of 207's best in the area of fine arts. Emma? If there's someone who crosses all areas of fine arts and is truly deserving of being deemed 207's best for fine arts, it is Emma Lemke. Emma is considered to be more of a colleague than a student in our PAV wing at Maine South. In the visual arts, Emma is able to apply her creative voice to a variety of subjects and fully dives into her projects. She does not limit herself to a single perspective or medium and approaches challenges with enthusiasm. Emma has easily taken digital manipulation in her work. She also works with mixed media by printing photos on canvas and then needle pointing on them. Emma took it upon herself to create a website for her artwork and has become a valuable resource for other students who are working on their own portfolio websites. She's a drumline captain. Now, Dr. Collins wanted me to emphasize that. So it's on record. She was the act captain of the V Show. She composed and arranged music for the V Show. She's on the swim team, NHS, Tri-M, Thespian Society, Pit Orchestra, Marching Band, Wind Ensemble, and Symphony Orchestra. She has taken AP Language, AP US History, AP Music Theory, AP Physics, AP Literature, AP Biology, and AP 2D Design. Now I have to add, when I was at home practicing this, reading it, my daughter said, "Wow." And my son said, "That's not really a student." So we have to take a picture. Emma's band director, Mr. David Hutter, I know is here this evening, Emma is a student from a new generation that tears down social walls, that defines common trends by also being an accomplished athlete in addition to being an elite musician. She's been a centerpiece to the girls' swim team for years, and she's a lifeguard at the local park district. She has successfully balanced both activities, which shows her organization and drive. Emma is not only a member of the band and the swim team, but she's a leader among the groups. She's also been the glue of many extracurricular activities. She's a valued member of the Honor Society, International Thespian Troupe, and Triumph Honors Music Society. It should be noted that she accomplished this while all maintaining an extremely rigorous course load that included 6 AP classes and many more accelerated classes. These skills that she has developed in a musical setting will surely transfer over to the collegiate and workplace atmosphere. A university and a future school district that will employ Emma will greatly benefit from her work ethic, demeanor, leadership ability, and contiguous spirit. So that means if you become a music educator, you're most likely to become a principal. Dr. Collins. All right, so you're on your way. Susan Deering, Emma's intro to calculus teacher. She's here this evening. Emma's a great student in calculus class. She's always prepared. She listens well. She thinks through problems and completes them on her own. Her homework is organized and complete. Emma is mature and works well with others. She's not afraid to present a problem to the class, and she's willing to help others understand the concepts. Emma enters the class with a smile and uses class time wisely. She is focused, friendly, driven. Emma wants to understand mathematics, not just to get it done. She ties concepts together well and can easily recall topics learned in previous chapters. And a couple more comments. Mrs. Moore, Emma's AP Studio Art. Being a well-rounded and creative student, Emma has developed a way to take her talent as a percussionist, composer, and artist, and has applied that context to her AP2 design portfolio. She's taking lights and using a long shutter speed to capture the dynamic movement of her drumsticks and the music, visually capturing a song that she has composed. Emma has shown strong imagination and diligence in her work. By the way, I heard you have a YouTube video.
I do.
And how many followers?
I have almost 10,000 subscribers.
Miss Terrell Keith, she's here this evening, her AP Music Theory teacher. As a music theory student, Emma took the lead on several arrangements for the V-Show stage band and has begun writing compositions. Having never arranged for a band before and having never used music notation software before, Emma was a quick study and off she went. That's how things work with Emma. She grabs a task and runs with it. There's no need to worry, no need to follow up, and the end result is a high-quality product. So, ladies and gentlemen, our 207 Best. Want to introduce who's with you this evening?
Oh, this is my dad, his name is Joe. This is my mom, her name is Jean.
And your plans for, actually, we were talking about your plans.
Yeah.
The next principal at Maine South, right? What are your plans?
I'm going into music education next year.
Next up, we have Maine West. Over here.
It's my pleasure to recognize Phoebe Cole. Here is Maine West 207's Best in the area of fine and performing arts. Kind of an opening quote. Pat Barnett, our fine arts chair, says, Phoebe Cole is one of the most talented students I have had the pleasure of working with. She is a triple threat in music, theater/broadcasting, and art. So that's, to me, like 4. But anyway, definitely a triple threat at least. When I told Phoebe she was the unanimous selection for 207's Best in Fine Arts for extensive participation in every avenue of the arts, which, by the way, when we became interim and we learned about this wonderful process and recognitions, Pat Barnett, I think they knew at the beginning of the year that Phoebe was going to be the unanimous selection for fine arts, and you'll see why. But she told me she was scared to do anything extracurricularly in her first year, in her freshman year. And it wasn't really till her sophomore year that she got involved and really branched out, and branched out she did. She annually takes a full course load to maximize her learning, and this year in the area of fine arts, Phoebe is enrolled in chamber choir, digital, audio and music production, drama 2, photo 3, advanced TV and film production. Additionally, she's taking AP English Lit and anthropology. She currently has a 4.02 GPA and is a member of National Honor Society. Her extracurricular activities include WMTH TV station manager, and musical lead actor in Audrey 2 and Little Shop of Horrors, godmother in Cinderella, and just been named to play Uncle Fester in Addams Family in February. She also was Mrs. Rumbake in the fall production of Peter and the Starcatcher, a role she will repeat when she and her castmates perform the show at Illinois Theater Fest in Champaign-Urbana this coming January, because the show was selected to go down to Theater Fest. She's also served as a student producer and student director for other productions and serves as an officer in the Drama Club. In October, Phoebe was featured in 2 performances in West Variety Show. Additionally, she was selected by the competitive District 7 ILMEA Chorus for its November performance. And just this past weekend, she also learned that she's been named to the All-State Choir, and which she'll be performing in January at the Illinois Music Educators Conference in Peoria. When I asked Phoebe what she plans to pursue upon graduation from Maine West, she said that playing a lead role in last winter's musical confirmed for her that she wants to pursue musical theater. And I'll let her share with you where she's looking to go when I'm done with this. In addition to his opening quote, Mr. Barnett adds, she could easily pursue a career in any of these disciplines. I can't wait to watch her journey unfold in the years to come. For Mr. David Harmon, her drama director, who we were hoping if we went last would be here from rehearsal. But anyway, says Phoebe Cole has made a lasting impact on the drama program at Maine West. In addition to her roles in several productions, Mr. Harmon states Phoebe's organization, drive, and collaborative spirit make her a joy to work with. She has a strong moral compass and passion for social justice, a true creative warrior willing to use her voice to bring about positive changes wherever they're needed. From Ms. Melissa Lloyd, her photo teacher, Phoebe never ceases to amaze me. I've been fortunate to have Phoebe in Design and Materials 1, Photo 2, and Photo 3. She has definitely made her mark on Maine West. Ms. Rebecca Orr, her broadcasting teacher, states Phoebe's an outstanding leader in the broadcasting program at Maine West. She's the student that every teacher looks for when recruiting for their executive boards. She constantly sets a positive example for other students by providing encouragement for all of our team members and by being open to hearing the perspectives of all members of her team. She's always willing and ready to take creative risks. The fine arts at Maine West will not be the same without her next year. Mr. Jim Schiffer, her choir teacher, adds to the accolades, saying Phoebe has been an absolute pleasure to work with during her time at Maine West. She's been involved in choir all 4 years and has been an integral part to the choir's success. What comes to mind when thinking about Phoebe is her character, consistently humble, gracious, and sincere. She does not let her talent go to her head, but rather she sets an appropriate example for younger students in the program. She is well respected by peers and faculty members alike, and I cannot think of a better Maine West student to represent 207's Best in Fine Arts. I agree wholeheartedly. Congratulations to Phoebe. Who's with you here tonight?
Okay, so I have my grandpa, John Ziemeyer, and my grandma, Laura Ziemeyer, and they're here tonight because they've been a really important part of my life and have helped me thrive.
Awesome, awesome. And where are you thinking of maybe going?
Definitely for musical theater, my #1 choice right now would be Syracuse in New York.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to each of our board recipients. And we wish you great luck as you move forward in your creative endeavors. This is your chance to have photos taken if you want to step outside with your principals. It's also a time where you want to leave the meeting. Welcome back when you make it. All right.
What are you doing over there, Ken?
Ken, can you hear us okay? We can hear you.
Oh, yeah, whatever you're doing, we can hear you.
I can show you.
I'm real.
Oh, okay. Well, good to see you. Thanks for all you do here.
Okay, are there any public comments? Cards over there that we see? Okay. Okay, we do have Dr. Wallace here. He's out of town, but he is on the phone. So, Ken, do you have any updates?
A couple of updates. First of all, tonight is our Director of Communication, Dave Cleary's last board meeting. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge that.
He's out taking photos.
He's out taking photos with the award winners, so can you come?
Bummer.
He'll be right back.
later.
I want to say it anyway, just let's make sure that we thank him tonight for his really exemplary service. We'll have more to say about this in a few weeks. But Dave has just been someone tremendous to work with, and he has served our district with great distinction and the highest ethics. Just been a wonderful, wonderful human being for us to be privileged to work with. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Dave tonight for all the really great work that he's done for us. Secondly, since we have spoken the last time in the November meeting, we had the election and we have passed the referendum that the board put on the ballot. We passed it with about 61% of the vote in Maine Township. I want to take a moment to thank our Board of Education, all of our staff, especially thank our communities for hearing us, for appreciating the message, I think for appreciating the history that we've had of being good stewards of taxpayer dollars, of taking really good care of our buildings, and yet acknowledging that we need to upgrade and update and modernize our buildings. So I want to thank our communities for that. That said, we're putting together plans to now get to work. Now the hard part happens, and there's a lot that comes with that, including putting teams together for construction, for architecture, for all of the granular pieces that one has to undertake to complete projects of this magnitude. And we're looking at probably a 4 to 6 year window. And I'm going to turn it over to Mary Klug just for a moment. We've been updating the board, but I want Mary to say some things on the record publicly tonight so that we can begin the process of communicating with the public, and we'll have many other things to do and say about this to make sure that we faithfully go through these projects and complete them in a way that shows respect for the democratic process that we've just followed. So Mary, if you want to say a few words about what this will look like for the district.
During the next several months, we'll be assembling what I'm calling the team. Today, the request for qualifications for bond financial advisor went out. We are pleased with our current financial advisor, but given the size of the bond issue, we felt that it was important to do an RFP and take a fresh look at pricing and firms. We will then, at the Buildings and Grounds meeting in December, talk about the construction approach. Construction management, what that looks like, what type of construction management we're using, as well as the architect's role and fees in terms of this project. So that will come. Our goal is to have everybody on the team assembled by February so that we can have that team part of the design process, which will then take another 12 to 18 months. So that as we design, we have the construction manager on board looking at it from the construction lens and trying to see what cost efficiencies during construction we can achieve during the design process.
Ken, anything else from you?
That's it. And again, both Mary, Dave Holm, our building staff, they've done a really, really good job throughout this whole process. And that's where I think District 207 is really fortunate to have people the quality of Mary Klug, Dave Holm, and everyone who's out of buildings to help us together put a team together and run a good set of projects to make the work come to fruition that the community has asked us to do. So that's all that I have.
Okay. All right, and we'll make sure to thank Dave when he comes back in the room. You might have to jump back in again, but he's not back in yet. Okay, are there any updates from board members this time?
I also would like to recognize Dave, but I want to wait until, if you don't mind, when he comes back, so we can move it to.
Sure.
I just want to mention one thing. That would, that's the Tobacco 21 legislation that was in Illinois. That would have raised the smoking age to 21 instead of 18, which would effectively bring any kind of smoking or vaping out of the high school, because right now we have people who are 18 and technically it's in the high school. So by having that law, we would have been able to totally take it out of the high school. Unfortunately, when it was attempted to pass the first time, Governor Rauner vetoed it, and then after he vetoed it and Pritzker won, then the Senate went back to override the veto, and they did override the veto, but the House just voted to override it, and they lost by 4 points. So for votes. So we're going to try to keep working on advocating for Tobacco 21, and it probably will be on a county basis first, because as you may know, Chicago already has it, and it's a big deal for us as high schools to really, if we can get it out of the high school, that's a big deal, and for our kids.
Sure, a quick question. The nationwide overall, do you have any other states have a legal age of 21 for tobacco, like drinking liquor? Would you say?
But I just don't have that at the top of my head, Jen. But I know that there are other states, if they don't have it, they're voting on it. But it has other implications when you bring in the whole smoking thing and legalization of marijuana as well.
Okay. I did just note that Mr. Beery came back in the room, and Dave, we understand it's your last meeting today, which is hard to believe.
It is.
And Ken said had some very nice words to say for you, which I'll ask him to say again in a minute. But I just want to thank you for the time that I've been on the board. I have always felt like if there was ever an issue or concern, you seem to have the way to say things and the way to handle things with such dignity and grace, and I have really appreciated that. And I've only had a short period of time with you, so I can only imagine how that's been magnified over the years. So thank you for your service. You will be missed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ken?
I can't say it any better than what Carla just said in terms of the quality of person that you are, Dave, but as someone that has frequently come in on Sunday morning to see your car in here on Sunday morning, catching up with work and doing things, it's more than just the grace in the class that you've operated with. It's also the ethic and the work ethic. And I want to make public just how much I appreciate that, how much it's been appreciated by our entire district and how well it has served our district. So because this is your last meeting, I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that. And I don't know how many people in the room, but however many people are there, how about we give Dave a round of applause?
I won't lie, I'm not going to miss the board meetings on Monday. But I'm also going to be honest and say that I've been a communications professional for 40 years, and I'm not sure that I can adequately express what a privilege it's been to be associated with this district for the last 10 years. You know, you look at the mission of this district, and it's deceptively simple: to improve learning. And who's not going to say we should improve learning? But it's only when you're inside and you see the work every day, and you see the dedication and commitment of Ken and everybody at this table, and a lot of people in this building to
to making that work, the dedication and the creativity that people bring to really seriously improving learning. It is really impressive. And doubly impressive when you see that the people at this table have made it clear that the mission is not just to improve learning for the best and the brightest, but for every student who comes into our doors. That makes it all the more remarkable, and the work done here is something that the community should be so proud of, and I very much appreciate the opportunity to have some small role in that.
And I think he just turned that around and paid us a compliment. And I just want to push it right back to you, because I just think you deserve all kinds of credit for how the district has been presented in all kinds of occasions. You've been calm and just steadying, and I just think it's kind of an old-fashioned style, and I think that we can still learn a lot from it. So thank you again. Jim, did you want to?
Yes, sure, Carla. I want to echo and re-recognize Mr. David Berry for all the wonderful job and the services that he has done, that provided to Main Township. We have been grateful for your services, and I wish you all the happy retirement, all the best of everything. And since 2013, when I got first elected and known Mr. Dave Berry, and it has been a truly pleasure knowing you and working with you. And I was really confident about Main Township leadership, that because of including you, that we do have a great leadership role that is conducted in Main Township 207. So once again, I really appreciate your dedication, and for all the board member, again, we are grateful, and we wish you all the best, and once again, happy retirement.
Jim, thank you very much.
And you know, what we say to the kids is, and what are your plans? And what are your plans?
Can I add one
Yes.
quick one, Dave?
You mean other than
I
being-
echo what everyone else said, but I had the opportunity to ask you to serve on a community committee, not in this capacity, and long before I was here. And you not only said yes, you represented 207 in such a thorough, competent, consistent manner, and your heart was in this community group, and it was very time intensive. And I didn't know how much time intensive your day job was here. I mean, I had a glimpse of it, but now I have a better idea. So not only are you exemplary in this building, in all of these buildings, and what work you did here, but in the community. And people knew that, and people knew you, and I cannot thank you enough. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul. My plans?
Yeah.
Other than being
Just
first in line at the Golden Corral every Thursday. Barb's going to work another 4 or 5 months, and then we're going to retire. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some stuff that we haven't had a chance to do with both of us working, and you know, we're going to figure some things out as we go, and we're going to enjoy it.
That's great, that's great. You have a wonderful time. I'm sure you won't miss FOIA requests and things like that. Okay, well, we could keep going, but we have to move along. Okay, we're going to move on to monthly status of finances. Mary?
The first item on monthly status of finances is the October financial report. We're still well within the budget. If you look on the expenditure side, the only percentage variance from previous years has to do with how much of the summer construction we've paid out at the end of October, but everything is still within budget. The second item is the extension of the secondary school cooperative risk management program, which is the property liability and workers' comp pool that the district belongs to. The bylaws require every 5 years that the board of SCRIM Act, which I represent the district on, perform and votes on a 5-year extension. So we'll be taking that vote in December. The bylaws also have a process and procedure to withdraw from the cooperative. So this 5-year extension doesn't lock us in for 5 years. It simply is just a continuation of this program. We have been happy and saved a tremendous amount of money since the inception of SCRIMP going back to 1989. So we just wanted to inform the board that that was happening in December. I'll take any questions that anybody has on either the October financial report or the script extension.
Any questions on that? Okay. Anything on instructional services?
No report this month.
Okay, thank you. Ken, monthly update on FOIA requests?
We have 2 this month, and they have been responded to or in the process of being responded to.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion on item 7A through F, the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Would you take the roll, please?
Austriaco?
Aye.
Bessler? Collins? Coyle? Lee? Sullivan? Owen?
Aye. Could I have a motion on item 8? This is Board of Education policies, second reading.
So moved.
Thank you. Mary?
These are on the agenda for approval this evening. Under identity protection, it is just simply a numerical change as we move to the press policy numbering. Under asset capitalization, we are raising the threshold from $2,500 to $5,000 to be consistent with our other member districts in the Sprint cooperative as we look to do a physical inventory. We're updating the environmental quality of buildings and grounds and separating policy and procedure